Keep yourself still.
A motorway cop's duties are always complex.
You need some sort of padding for a first aid box.
From carer...
Sierra 2, we have a vehicle failing to stop.
...to enforcer.
It is safe to continue at this time.
Because on the motorway, you never know what to expect.
My heart hasn't finished pounding yet, but yeah, I'm really pleased they're here.
And looking after the vulnerable...
Can you hear me all right, Bill?
Yeah.
...is all part of the job.
Just trying to protect you, save you from being killed.
Yeah. Somebody's got to put themselves forward, put themselves in harm's way to make sure other people are looked after in society. That's why I do it, to do that and to make a difference, to protect people.
The M62 cuts across West Yorkshire. Just north of the motorway's halfway point sits the city of Bradford. During rush hour, nearly 30,000 vehicles use the city roads and carriageways. Trying to stay on top of it all are the motorway cops. Afternoon traffic is building as West Yorkshire officers Lindsay Pickles and Andy Barron head into Bradford. They are only a couple of miles away from the centre when a report comes over the radio. A city centre patrol car is pursuing a speeding driver.
Let's go for that.
Shipley Airedale Road is a main A650 arterial route through Bradford, so it's extremely busy. That's a massive, massive A road, is that?
We have the Bolton Lane on the near side. Bolton Lane on the near side, over.
That is very close. That's coming out. What is that?
We know from the call signs the police vehicle couldn't pursue this car for very long. It would need specialist support very, very quickly.
The pursuit is less than a mile away. The motorway cops are trained to pursue. If they can get there quickly, they can take over from the patrol car. But the busy lunchtime traffic is slowing them down.
Why isn't nobody hearing me?
Tango 4-1, we're standing by a mile ahead, Wakefield Road, junction with Dudley Hill.
There's obviously that adrenaline rush when somebody is not stopping, but it's more fear than anything else. It's what's going to become of this, how's it going to end?
It's crashed. We've got a green Ford Focus that's been failing to stop for another unit, coming towards us. It's about a mile down this road, however, we're getting information that it's crashed. Romeo Tango 4-1, we're 30 seconds away now, coming on the Canal Road.
Tango 4-3, yeah, ambulance, please.
It were just complete carnage, really.
This one,
4-1, can I
O2.
ask local divisional units, please, to put me a road closure on the Shipley Airedale Road junction of Leeds Road. We need a full closure on Shipley Airedale Road.
The Ford Focus being pursued has crashed into two other cars. The driver of one of them and the passenger of the Ford Focus are injured. But the cops don't yet know how badly.
It's when you arrive at a scene and you're the first to arrive and nobody else is there, that's when it's chaotic and you've got to really think carefully. Is there going to be loss of life if I do something wrong or different?
Just sit still, lover. Just sit still. Keep yourself still. You need some sort of padding for a first aid box. Just keep yourself still.
In this situation, the cops' first priority is to take care of the injured.
No matter who we're dealing with, if ambulance are not there, then yes, our main concern is that we tend to the injured parties.
The passenger in the Focus is their main concern. He's bleeding heavily from a head wound.
Talk to me, lover. Talk to me. What's your name? All right. We've got some help coming to you. Ambulance is on its way, OK? All right.
I'm sorry for being rude here.
Oh, it's all right. You're not being rude.
I'm shaking.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Don't matter. Don't matter. Keep still. I'm concerned about has it got any glass in it, that's all. Get into the back. No.
172,
Talk to me, lovey. I was aware that that was the offending vehicle. We'd had the vehicle described to us. I knew that that was the vehicle involved, but at the end of the day, you've got an injured passenger there. He needs medical help. Keep still.
The man who's caused all this has run off.
The driver could clearly see the injuries to that passenger. It'd be impossible not to, but his concern was him and getting away. No concern for the life of that front seat passenger. Keep still so I can just keep some pressure on it, lovey, all right?
My leg feels all swollen from the
Does
top.
it? It's all right, we'll sort your leg.
As the minutes tick by, the passenger is losing more and more blood from his wound.
So my concern was to get some pressure on that to try and stem the bleeding. Keep talking to us. Yeah. Keep it as still as you can. We're keeping pressure on it. I'll hold your hand. I'll hold your hand. And a duty of care is part and parcel of everything that we do as police officers, no matter who we're dealing with.
The crash has caused long tailbacks, and the emergency services have had to fight their way through.
The first thing that I like to see is the ambulance, the paramedics there, the first responders. Once I know they're there, my attention can go completely away from any injured parties. I can let out a sigh of relief, if you like.
Dealing with a serious crash like this brings back painful memories for Andy.
When I first passed my driving test, I was involved in a fatal collision on a motorway on the M62, where my best friend died in the car. We'd broken down on a hard shoulder and something smashed into the back of it. And we'd say devastating life experience. And I think that drove me to think I want to be a cop. And that's the back of all my drive. Reduce carnage and stop people losing their lives, basically.
Ambulance is here. OK. Keep talking to us.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're there still, yeah.
Lindsay can finally hand over the injured passenger to the care of the paramedics.
You want me to get out of the way now? To be honest, at this stage, he's the most seriously injured. Fire are going to have to take the roof off to get him out because he's complaining of neck, back and leg injuries. So we'll take the roof off the vehicle and extract him on a board and get him seen to as quickly as possible. And then we'll just speak to the officers that were at the scene to ascertain exactly what's happened.
The other injured motorist is trapped in his car. The paramedics think he may have spinal injuries, and so the fire brigade will have to cut him free. But before they get to work, he shares what he knows with Lindsay. With paramedics now in attendance, Lindsay and Andy switch from carers back to cops.
We need to gather that evidence so that potentially the person that's caused this is ultimately going to go into court and pay the price for what they've done.
3 miles south of Bradford is the M62. It's one of the busiest motorways in the country. 150,000 vehicles use it every day. This is PC's Phil Stonebanks and Dave Robson's patch.
Yeah, it's always been in the blood. It's always been a family tradition to be in the police. My granddad was in, both my parents were in, and I suppose it was always a natural progression for me to go in. But 24 years in, I can honestly still say I love coming to work. I love doing my job. Being out there, driving on the roads, you come across breakdowns, you just never know. Every day is different.
The motorway traffic is building up when a call comes in. A driver has broken down in the fast lane.
This one that is causing massive tailbacks already, and once traffic suddenly starts slowing down, then that's when we can get accidents with people just running into the back of the tailbacks, not aware of what's happening up ahead of them.
Rush hour's approaching, and it's getting just as busy here as in the city. Phil and Dave are struggling to get through the traffic.
We hit the tailbacks on the M1 probably about 1.5 miles before the M62, and the breakdown was about 5 miles further up the M62.
Prepare to breathe in.
But that one vehicle in lane 3 in the roadworks, where there was no hard shoulder, just caused about 5 miles of tailbacks, probably within the space of 20 minutes. It caused absolute chaos, did that.
That's it. Let's get friendly.
If the motorway cops are having problems, a recovery vehicle has no chance.
The free recovery doesn't have blue lights and sirens and can't force his way through traffic like we can, so potentially he could just end up sitting back there in the traffic and can't get through. Free recovery.
Phil and Dave's first duty is to ensure the stranded driver is safe.
Let me have a go. We'll just try and do what we can.
My heart hasn't finished pounding yet, but yeah, I'm really pleased they're here. So just hopefully they'll be able to get me out of the fast lane quite soon. Yeah, a bit scared.
With the driver safe, Phil and Dave turn their attention to the 5-mile tailback. If they can't clear the fast lane quickly, there's going to be even more chaos on the motorway.
Just confirm we've got free recovery en route.
It's just not starting for some reason.
Crawling along in first gear and starting to gather a bit of pace, put it into second and it just died.
We understand free recovery is potentially en route. We're just trying to get an update from them. The Highways Agency have been trying to find it, but they couldn't find the vehicle, so we think they're possibly somewhere in the tailbacks behind us.
With the recovery truck stuck in traffic, it's now up to Phil and Dave to try and move the brand new Range Rover. But it isn't going to be easy.
Shut the door, locked it up with the key, because it could have had immobilisers on it. Open it back up again, you know, with the key.
Put it in gear, put clutch up, then press start and it'll leave from the cross.
Right, yeah, we'll have a go, yeah.
Well, I think a call into Land Rover will be one of the first things that we do, actually.
leave clutch up, now press the button.
Press clutch on starting. It was stuck in gear, the handbrake electronic, that was stuck on.
Yeah, it's not going to do it, is it?
Modern electronic vehicles are wonderful, so long as they're working fine. But when they start going wrong, they're an absolute nightmare. Because everything now is all just push buttons, and if the buttons don't work, there's not a right lot you can do about it.
Where's handbrake on these ones, is it?
Still the pull.
All right, yeah, right, we'll just check them there.
Just knock handbrake off. Just see if it'll move. If it'll move, then you can get in
handbrake's still showing us on.
Get off, Dave.
Just 1 second. Right, handbrake's off. No, now it's on. It comes on automatically, Phil.
If anything goes wrong now, you need a £10,000 computer to plug the car into to make it work in. Whereas in my days, you just got your spanners out and fixed it, and away you went.
Yeah, don't you just love modern technology? What was wrong with a simple handbrake lever? Looks like somebody electrical fault then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In desperation, they decide to tow the car across to the hard shoulder. But even this isn't straightforward.
Yeah, that's the wonder of modern cars. They cover everything in plastic and make everything completely inaccessible. So I'm just trying to find where the front towing eye goes by looking in the owner's manual. So back, that's the front. The front and the back.
The longer they struggle getting to grips with the car's manual, the longer the tailback grows, as does the frustration of the drivers who've been delayed.
People do go by shaking their heads and tutting and things like that. I just think, what, you know, what we're supposed to do. You know, you come and tell us, Einstein. If we could do it, we would have done it. I don't want to be stood there blocking the carriageway. You know, I'd rather be doing something else. But yeah, they think we do it on purpose just to wind them up. Some of them.
Yeah, I like lying down in the fast lane of the motorways. You know, I mean, it certainly keeps you alert and aware of what's going on around you. There we go. Nice big towing eye on there to get onto. I think we have a crash cushion coming down.
But as they prepare to tow it themselves, the recovery truck arrives.
We'll let them drag it on, at least and get on the towing eye now, so he's just going to pull up with the recovery truck, hopefully drag the Range Rover onto the back of it, and then we'll be good to go. One of the problems we have is people want to rubberneck and want to know what's going off, so they'll slow down, start looking, and if you just leave them to their own devices, it causes more problems because everybody's doing 5-10 mile an hour. But when we stand and start waving our arms, you can visibly see the speed of the traffic moving up. It's encouraging people to drive a bit faster, and obviously it helps clear the tailbacks quicker as well.
After 45 minutes, the Range Rover is finally removed from the fast lane, and the cops can get the traffic moving again.
Female on her own, stuck in lane 3. A lot of traffic around. We don't want her getting hurt or anyone else.
I'm happy now. I've got my hands mucky. I know if I'm going home at the end of the day with clean hands, I've not done a good day's work.
Back in Bradford, officers Lindsay Pickles and Andy Barron are investigating the crash involving 3 cars at a major junction.
Is there a chance we can have some assistance with PCSOs to assist with road closures down at Valley Road, please?
The driver who caused it all has fled the scene, leaving his passenger and the driver of another car trapped and badly injured.
Obviously, once we're aware that ambulance have taken over and they're happy dealing with the injured parties, then we have to step up the game.
Lindsay and Andy need to piece together exactly what happened.
We need to try and fathom out what's gone on and start preserving evidence and investigating this and making sure we don't lose anything.
Is this yours? Have you visually seen everything that's happened?
Right, it just happened that quick. I just seen the little car behind there.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, it just spun like that about 3 times. Hit that bird there. And that come from I don't even know where that come from. It went straight into the back of mine, straight into front of mine. One
of the problems we have at this incident is with the vehicle travelling at such high speed, it would appear that it's arrived at this location in such a manner that any potential witnesses that we might have had have not had time to soak in where this vehicle's come from.
But the officers involved in the pursuit are still on the scene, and Andy tracks them down.
Who was the driver? Had he been caught, and who'd caught him?
I'm just trying to get a picture of who we're pursuing and in what.
We were pursuing in this.
You were pursuing in this? Yeah. Right. He's the driver?
He's the driver.
Right. Fantastic.
One of the cops is in plain clothes, and Andy discovers that they caught the driver as he tried to run from the scene.
It all fell into place, and it was quite a bit of a relief to get all those details written down and get a picture of what's gone on.
So he's now under arrest on suspicion of dangerous driving and failing to stop. We're just trying to clarify whether he needs hospital attention or whether he can be taken straight to custody.
The passenger he abandoned has deep cuts to the head, and his condition is deteriorating. He urgently needs to get to hospital. The fire crews are working as fast as they can to cut him out of the car.
That first hour, it's crucial to get them to the hospital and get what they need, any medical attention, very, very quickly. And that, a lot of people refer to it as a golden hour.
With the road blocked, the fastest option is to take the passenger to hospital by air. But landing a helicopter in the middle of a city is a tricky operation.
Probably going to take this chap, so...
Right.
Can I land there?
Yeah, if you're in communication with him, yeah. He's the most serious, isn't he? We're happy with...
I do not know what's going on in that car, right. To be honest. I've only looked at this gentleman here.
Right, OK.
There's a lot still to do here, and Lindsay calls home.
Go ahead, dear.
Can you ring our Emma, please, and tell her that one of them's going to have to pick Alex up from school because I'm not going to get away from here quickly. It's not the easiest job to balance work-home life because on any day we never know whether we're going to finish or not, so you always have to have a contingency plan for that. It doesn't make it easy because we work long hours, but my family have grown up with that, so they don't know any different, really.
Excuse me, can I have everyone behind this line, please? Everyone behind this line now! Thank you very much! Some of a hard time, unfortunately, is having to be tied up dealing with people that are getting too close to the scene and clearly need to be kept back, not only for safety reasons because of glass and debris, but also for the injured parties' privacy, basically. They're still in vehicles trapped, and they don't really want people filming them on mobile phones and being uploaded onto sites such as YouTube for the world to see. It's improper, so we try and prevent that as much as we can by getting a cordon.
The driver of one of the cars that the Ford Focus crashed into is finally cut free, as is the badly injured passenger Lindsay cared for. The paramedics have stabilised the passenger and with the road cleared, he can be driven to hospital.
As a roads policing officer, the amount of serious injuries and fatalities that you deal with, it does toughen you. It has to do, otherwise you wouldn't be able to deal with the situations. I do get quite emotional sometimes, but I do have to put that on hold.
The driver who caused the accident is now under arrest. He's got minor injuries and is also taken off to hospital.
He's driven with a complete disregard for anybody else on the road, and if this had involved any sort of motorcycle or pedestrian, I think the outcome would have been very, very different.
Chillingly, Andy discovers the driver has done this before.
I understand he's a banned driver following a fatal traffic collision, so he could be going back to prison, hopefully.
These drivers should not be on the road. They have no care or compassion for any other road users whatsoever. We need to continue to get them off the road and let the courts imprison them.
Just 7 miles west, near Wakefield, is the M1. Acting Sergeant Gary Panther and PC Mick Roth of the Regional Road Crime Team are beginning their 10-hour shift in an unmarked car.
That golfing lane one of them.
Yes.
This car may help them get closer to criminals without being spotted, but they believe that something less tangible is what really counts.
I think everybody has an ability to sense something ain't right, that gut feeling where you get that strange feeling that this just doesn't feel right.
Yes, definitely.
On the outskirts of the city near the M1 junction, their instincts kick in after spotting a suspicious-looking vehicle, and they decide to follow it.
You look at it and for a second you assess it, straight away you can tell, even at a distance for the Golf in this one, from that distance you just know, that's just not right, that's worth a second look if you like, and then from then on, that instinct tingles.
Just a vehicle that is commonly used by criminality in the area, that's all. A Golf, blacked out windows, can't really see who's in it, so it's always worth a little look, see who's using it really. Yeah, run us one P&C in Niche, please.
Flags out the window.
Just on Flanshaw Way.
Probably about 4 or 5 when I thought about being a police officer. It's just the only job I can see myself doing, even at that young age. It just interested me. The unfortunate thing, I had to wait so long until I were old enough.
Gary and Mick have a reputation for getting results along the M1 corridor, hunting down lawbreakers.
Being a copper is a job that is needed, and somebody's got to stand up and be counted. Somebody's got to put themselves forward, put themselves in harm's way to make sure other people are looked after in society.
Good.
A flash of the blue lights tell the driver of the GTI to pull over.
He's off, lad.
Come on. So I sit there thinking, I'm not going to get out and walk. It's a bit of a Mexican standoff. I'm not going to get out and walk because I don't think you're going to stop. And lo and behold, his will broke before ours, and off he went.
Give me belt. X-ray Tango Sierra 2.
Gary and Mick's instincts have paid off.
X-ray Tango Sierra 2 urgent.
Now they need backup.
Sierra 2, we have a vehicle failing to stop on Flanshaw Lane at Luxit. It is safe to continue at this time. We're double crew, TPAC trained in an unmarked vehicle fitted with lights and sirens. Can I have authority for TPAC, please?
You hear the term TPAC used a lot as an abbreviation of the tactics we use, which are tactical pursuit and containment.
We are in a pursuit situation with the vehicle. Can we have authority to continue TPAC, and is 9 available? Situation.
The role that I adopted is the role of ground commander. There is a ground commander in a pursuit and there is an incident commander in the pursuit. The incident commander has overall view and control of the pursuit. They're in the control room and they use my commentary, so what I'm saying, back to them, to make a decision on whether they're going to allow the pursuit to continue or not.
We are left onto Bailey Road, speed is 70, it is safe to continue at this time.
Thank you, you have the obligation to start tactical pursuit criteria.
Yes, we are still Batley Road, generally back towards Dewsbury.
While they wait for the decision to continue or stand down, they're doing all they can to keep up.
Yes, that's acknowledged. We are overtaking vehicles wrong side of the road on Batley Road.
He knows he's struggling to get away, and you could see that his risk started to go up.
Back to the correct. Speed is 70 and increasing. Is 99 available, and a dog to the area, please.
99 is the call sign of the air support unit, but police helicopters are a scarce resource. But it's the only way they've got of guaranteeing they don't lose the GTI.
He certainly knows that there will be a point where it'll be called off. And he knows if that can happen before the helicopter gets there, he's going to get away.
The cops are trained to drive safely at speed. The GTI driver is not. He's pushing himself and the car to the limit and chancing a deadly head-on collision.
You've got to look at yourself. If I continue to chase him here, am I putting other people in danger? Is my presence forcing him to do that?
As they race through a small town, 50 miles an hour above the 30 limit, the stakes are rising.
You can see 30-mile-an-hour speed limits approaching. My worst fear is that there's somebody crossing the road. There's going to be pedestrian crossings. There's going to be slow-moving traffic.
Concern is mounting. Unsuspecting pedestrians and drivers could easily be caught up in the pursuit. The cops need to stop the GTI before it becomes too dangerous and they're ordered to stand down. Just a couple of miles north is the crossing point of the M62 and the M1. Drivers from all over the country converge at this busy junction.
Romeo Tango 80, can you book us on fleet 138 please? Good afternoon. Yeah, we're making us out to the job at junction 33.
PC's Doug Lofthouse and Dale Anderson work from Wakefield. Starting their shift, they're heading to an incident on the M62.
This job on this day was very unique in what happened, the circumstances, and how the job really moved on or progressed. This isn't a everyday run-of-the-mill type of job.
Yeah, we've just been called by the Highways Agency, who have earlier attended a damage-only collision involving a gentleman who we believe to be in his 90s.
Officers from the Highways Agency called the police when they came across 91-year-old Bill trying to change his wheel after he hit an HGV in his car.
Hello, Bill.
Hello, son.
Are you all right? How are you doing?
Oh, well, I'm all right.
Only reason we're here is because these gents who have been helping you are a bit concerned about getting you back home and getting vehicle recovered.
No. If I get the front wheel done, I've got a spare wheel there, and I'll carry on then, so then...
Let's have a look at your car then.
Bill is en route to Holland and is determined to get there.
Thanks. Let's go and take a look. He says he thinks it's drivable. So I've said, come with us, so at least I can point out anything to him.
Wheel in the car?
Yeah.
Bill's brush with the HGV has torn up the side of his car.
You're not going to be able to drive that, you know.
He's maybe from a generation which, well, it'll physically work, it'll do and mend and such. Unfortunately, we've got more than just sort of a commitment to help Bill out. We've got a responsibility to make sure what he's doing's going to be as safe as possible for everyone else.
Because all these bits, all these sharp parts, that's what we'd call a dangerous part.
Yeah, well, once I get it all, I'll get it done in all.
You can't drive this over to the ferry, I'm afraid.
He wanted to drive off, and he thought that if he just changed his tyre, he could drive off. At the time, we were obviously advising him against it, but we didn't really know why we were in such a hurry to get off.
Well, what am I going to do now then?
Right, it'll have to be recovered and repaired properly. But if you speak to your insurance, they may be able to provide you with a courtesy car today. But the quicker we get it done, the more chance you've got of getting another car today. Come, let's go back to vehicles where we can talk safely.
Doug and Dale need to find out if anyone can pick Bill up and take him home.
You got no family then, Bill?
Got no family at all, no.
None at all?
They're all dead.
Right, bloody hell. Got no kids or like that?
No children, no.
Right, bloody hell.
Well, I've got one son, but he's dead and all.
Gee whiz.
He died about 6 months ago.
Right, sorry to hear that.
So I'm on my own now.
Right.
He'd outlived his wife, he'd outlived his children, which must be not a nice thing when you're 90 or in your 90s with absolutely no family around you. But I take my hat off to him to think that he's 91 with no family at all, and he's obviously on this big adventure.
What, we're going to Holland for?
Pardon?
What are you going to Holland for?
I'm going for 5 weeks.
All right.
It's a parachute regiment.
Oh, yeah, it's the police, it's PC.
And they have every now and again they have a do at Christmas.
Bill's a veteran of one of World War II's most heroic engagements, the Battle of Arnhem, and he's on his way to a reunion with the last of his surviving comrades.
What time's your ferry, Bill?
Pardon?
What time's the ferry?
9 o'clock.
Oh,
Got to
right.
be there at 7.
Right, so we've still got a few hours to get you there, haven't we? What we're going to do, Bill, we'll ring your insurance and get a claim rolling for you.
Yeah.
And get you recovered.
I've got one of your customers with us who's had a collision with a heavy goods vehicle. He's 91-year-old. Has this chap got any kind of courtesy car cover? Right, so the chances of him getting his ferry today are going to be slim. At the time, we didn't think we were going to be able to get him on his ferry, but we didn't want to leave him stranded in middle of West Yorkshire. He's sort of like halfway between home, a bit closer to Hull. So you don't have any provisions at all to be able to get him back home through his insurance? Can you just bear with me 30 seconds while I speak to a colleague? The courtesy car won't cover him to go to Holland, not even for a day. Right. And all they do is they take the car to a secure compound to the nearest one here, then repair it and then deliver it back to his home address. They have no provisions whatsoever because they've got no insurance cover to take him back home.
Can you hear me all right, Bill?
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right?
Can I give you this
Yep.
phone number? Because
Right, what's happening? Your insurance company are going to come and get your car.
They're coming.
They're going to come and get your car, but they're not going to give you another one today. So it's going to be a case of you waiting for your car to be repaired before you can get to Holland.
They won't repair that in a day.
No, it's going to be a good few days. It gets worse.
Kind of guess if you're going to
All right. When they recover your car,
been a no for 5 weeks.
they won't recover you.
So
Is there any way I can get a car to go to carry on with?
My suggestion would have been to take you maybe to Leeds train station so you could get a train home. But if you're wanting to maybe hire a car,
If you can get me a car, I'll pay for this. I'm not worried about that.
right, we could maybe. Yeah, have you got your driving licence with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could maybe take him down to Enterprise or something. Your insurance won't pay for it, but we can take you to a hire car place if you like.
I'll do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
His determination, his courage, his grit, really. He wanted to get to Hull, he had to get on that ferry. There was no other way around it, really.
Doug and Dale are going beyond the call of duty for this determined war veteran.
We'll see what we can sort out for you, all right? But we're not making any promises.
The problem they have is finding a car hire company who'll rent a vehicle to a 91-year-old to take overseas for 5 weeks and doing it in time to get Bill on his ferry to Holland. Near Dewsbury, Acting Sergeant Gary Panther and PC's Mick Roth have a more immediate problem. They've been tailing a GTI at high speed for 5 minutes and the driver is becoming increasingly reckless.
They know really what we do and how we're trained, and they know the more they push it, the sillier the risks they take, we won't follow.
Pursuit, get units to Leeds Road, please. We are now approaching Leeds Road at Dewsbury. Pursuit, get local units into the area, please, as well, in case it does decamp. Is 99 lifting for this?
99 is the call sign for air support, and they're catching up with the ground pursuit.
Speed 70, back to the correct. Safe to continue at this time.
Pursuit, we are continuing. We are now Haybeck Lane, generally still towards Leeds Road, Dewsbury Road, in Dewsbury. Just approaching Leeds Road now, stand by for direction. We are continuing straight across Leeds Road, lights are green, it is safe to continue. Overtaking vehicles wrong side of the road. Speed 70, back to the correct, safe to continue at this time.
Get towards Batley now, mate.
Get Stinger units to Batley if we can, please. We're generally towards Batley.
In his desperation to get away, the Golf driver clips another car.
And it's contact with another member of the public vehicle cell.
As Gary and Mick slow down to avoid doing the same thing, they lose the GTI.
To me, in my mind, immediately I'm thinking as ground commander, this guy is going to stop at nothing to get away from us now. And at that point, we'd backed off.
It is continuing. I think it is only minor damage. We are generally towards Bradford Road still.
Lost him, mate.
Keep going. He won't turned off at that speed.
Those very few seconds immediately after, you're thinking it's all, well, this is finished, they're going to abandon the car and run off and we'll never find out who they were or what they've done.
Oh yeah, he's braking.
Is that there? Straight round.
It's right into the estate, and we're onto Clutton Street. We're onto Clutton Street into the estate, and it's a temporary loss at this time. Is 99 overhead at all?
Luckily, the helicopter arrived just in the nick of time. I mean, just in the nick of time.
Yeah, it looks like a bailout coming up.
Yeah, 99, we've lost him on near West Street, Clutton Street, off Suthill Lane. It's an offside junction as you're travelling towards Batley. He's in that estate somewhere.
Both the driver and the passenger flee from the Golf.
Oh, sorry, the decamper from the black vehicle. Now, so give me a location, please. Just wait one.
And there were a few seconds where there were very little said. I think the helicopter were looking round for him.
It's not nicked, it's decamped off Suthill Lane somewhere. Andy, are you with it at all? 99, where's he gone? We're with car now. It's abandoned and near Grace Leather Lane.
Reverse from there, coming back out onto the road, and they're going you straight ahead. Reverse from there and going you straight ahead.
The driver's gone to ground, but air support is tracking the passenger.
Unfortunately, we've lost the driver to the right.
Right.
It's just crossing 100 yards up in grey trousers, grey top.
And Gary and Mick are onto him.
He's either going to see the police car and run, or he's going to try and bluff it out. This guy decided he was going to try and act completely innocent.
Come here. Come here. All right. You're under arrest, pal. Suspicion of theft of motor vehicle. Stand still. Don't mess about. Do not mess about. Get someone to the car. We've got passenger under arrest. You all right, wait a minute.
With the passenger under arrest, the hunt now turns to the driver, who, despite air support and officers on the ground, seems to have disappeared.
From 99, apologies for that. Lost driver, he crouched down somewhere.
Action single 18, that's received.
West of Dewsbury, the M62 cuts through West Yorkshire. As it rises up through the Pennine Hills, it becomes Britain's highest motorway. This is Motorway Cop Martin Willis's territory.
That stretch of the motorway up there towards Junction 22, we call it Windy Hill, aptly named. It's prone to high winds, particularly crosswinds as well. Because of that, you do get large vehicles, 40, 44-ton vehicles that are affected by the high winds, and they can get blown off onto the hard shoulder.
Martin's teamed up with PC Lindsay Pickles. As they reach the highest point of the motorway, they spot a car on the hard shoulder.
As we come along, we saw a chap trying to change the offside wheel, the wheel that's closest to lane 1, knelt down on the edge of the hard shoulder with his backside sticking out into lane 1.
Extremely dangerous doing that side without anybody watching your back. Okay? Really what you should have done, appreciate it's up on the jack now, you should have got it as close to here as possible.
It's already done now.
Sorry?
It's only got 2 minutes, I'm just...
Yeah, it doesn't matter, you're bent over there, all it needs is a lorry to come down onto the hard shoulder, or a car not watching what they're doing, that's it, the end of you. Just trying to protect you, save you from being killed. Yeah. Okay.
In the last 10 years, there have been over 70 people killed on Britain's hard shoulders. And the dangers are only too real for Martin and every officer in West Yorkshire.
It's It was certainly brought home 2011 when one of our colleagues, PC Mark Goodlad, was tragically killed on the hard shoulder. Again, helping a motorist, helping somebody who was broken down, who was needed help. And it is one of the worst places you can work on.
The driver's wife and 3 small children are oblivious to the danger, and Martin's got to get them to safety as quickly as possible.
What we'll do now, we'll get them to stand behind here. My colleague will wait there, and I'll try and help you fix your tyre.
I thought, well, if I can get this tyre done, put on quickly, we'll get them moved, and then we've taken away the danger then. It's not a good thing to do, changing wheel on the hard shoulder. And even with someone as a lookout, it's still a scary thing to do. A split second of not looking the right way and not watching what you're doing, and that can be it, it's gone.
But as Martin risks his life replacing the punctured tyre, he discovers a serious problem.
Where's the other nut? Where's the fifth?
I just bought it 1 month ago. I didn't.
You've just bought it?
Yeah, 1 month ago.
Right. What we're going to have to do is get this tyre on best we can and get them off the motorway. It's not safe to continue with the wheel nut missing.
The driver claims that he bought the car with a wheel nut already missing, but there's an even bigger issue.
So they've got 3 kids, 3 children, and no suitable child restraints. Right, we've got a big problem here.
Yeah.
Your car's not safe.
Yeah.
Because there's a wheel nut missing.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got no proper child restraints for your children in the back. How old are your children?
One is nearly 3, one is 1.5. I might fix.
They need to be in proper child restraints. They're not tall enough, they're not old enough.
I was very angry, very angry. You feel, being a parent yourself, those poor children, they deserve better. And you think, well, why can't they look after them properly? Why are they doing this? Why are they putting the family at risk? Is it stupidity?
Off the motorway and out of harm's way, Lindsay has some questions for the driver.
Take it my colleagues explained to you the serious nature of what we're talking about, the fact that the children are not in car seats. Do you have some car seats available anywhere?
I'll go ahead.
At home? What's the reason that you've not put your child seats in the car today then?
We totally forgot, to be honest.
Right.
So I'm very sorry about that.
Right. I appreciate that, but I don't want you to be sorry to me. I don't want to be dealing with an accident that involves your children of a serious nature, and when they're sat in a car like that, they're going to be through the windscreen, and I know that you would not be able to live with yourself if anything happened to those children. All right, so I'm not going to lecture you anymore. The way we'll deal with it is by way of a fixed penalty ticket, OK, because you're failing to have your children in a correct child seat, OK.
Can you let it go, darling?
No.
No. The education message seemed wasted on him, to be honest.
No.
And again, that frustrates me because I'm thinking, well, that message isn't getting home.
Rather than leave them stranded, the safest course of action is to get everyone home as quickly and as safely as possible via a route that avoids the motorway.
Hello. This needs to go across here, OK, so just in case.
It never ceases to be amazing that people still do it, and sometimes we're seeing with 4 or 5 children in the back unrestrained, but it's unbelievable, it really is. I just hope he learns his lesson.
20 miles east along the M62 near Wakefield, PC's Doug Lofthouse and Dale Anderson are trying to get a stranded 91-year-old war hero to a veterans' reunion in Holland.
Would you like to think of it we are Dad, Grandad, at the side of the road? Would you like to think we were trying to help him out? I suppose so. Bottom line, this guy's had a minor bump. It's really important to him that he gets there, more important than the car. So we're going to get him an hire car which will let him go to Holland, which I'm not sure whether the companies will allow that at the moment or not. Get all his things there and hopefully get him on his way. Whether we'll do it or not remains to be seen, I'd suggest. We've probably got about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to get him back on the road, or he's going to miss the ferry crossing.
Bill's unroadworthy car is packed full of supplies for his 5-week trip, and Dale has called in a second police car to help move it all.
Do you hire cars out to take to Europe for 5 weeks?
The biggest problem we've got at the moment is finding an hire car company that's willing to let somebody who's going to walk in off the street today take one of their cars to another country for 5 weeks. So that's what Doug's trying to sort out.
Ah, right, so you don't do it for 5 weeks then?
We're getting there.
Yeah, can you try and find me a telephone number, please, for Avis Rent-A-Car?
We've got all his belongings and half of the local convenience store loaded up now. He's certainly not going to go without ready salted walkers for the next 5 weeks.
Doug's had no luck finding a rental car for Bill over the phone, and time's running out. So they decide to head to the nearest rental company to try and sort something out in person.
Right, let's get you to this hire car company then, Bill.
It was just the feeling about the entire meeting with Bill, really, that it was something a little bit different. And obviously his drive, for want of a better word, to get to his destination was sort of limitless.
How long were you in the Paras?
I was in 1944.
All right.
I was 6 years in the army from then. And I was in the TA from then until 6 years ago.
You were in the TA 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow. How many jumps have you made in your lifetime?
We all had 60. If they'll insure us now, we're going to do a jump this year.
Where?
If they'll insure us.
Do a jump? What, over in Holland?
Yeah.
Parachute jump. You're going to do a parachute jump if you can?
To this day, I still find it amazing. I hope, one, that I live till I'm 90-something, and two, that I'm fit enough and well enough to even think about doing a parachute jump. Truly amazing.
Good on you.
It's all good fun.
I think it's amazing. Obviously, you've fought in World War II, and you're still out there parachuting.
There's nothing in it.
Bill might be able to get insurance to jump out of a plane, but will a hire car company let him take a vehicle for 5 weeks overseas in time to get his ferry?
It's going to be tight, but hopefully Bill will do it without having to break any speed limits, eh?
The car's not nicked, is it?
What?
There's a car nicked.
Stand with him, stand with him.
In an estate just off the M1 in Dewsbury, Acting Sergeant Gary Panther and PC Mick Roth have caught the passenger of a car they've been pursuing. But the driver has vanished.
It took a little bit of time for the dust to settle, if you like, and he hadn't been immediately caught, the driver. So we just asked the helicopter to say, look, go back. Where did you last see him? Because he's not disappeared down a manhole cover.
From 9-9, within the flats we have got an open door. We can't say that the driver went in there, but we have got an open door in the flats just off Broomsdale Road.
While Mick takes charge of the hunt for the driver, Gary has found the Golf.
Car's been abandoned on Broomdale Road. Key's obviously still in the ignition. I believe the helicopter have got a possible location for the others, so other officers are off to that location at the moment, and I'm just going to come and secure the vehicle so no offenders can come back to it and drive off in it.
600 feet above them, the cops are searching the area the driver was last seen in.
Lost driver, he crouched down somewhere. We've just got thermal come online now.
But it's a warren, and even their thermal imaging camera can't detect anything.
To that officer who's coming back towards the aircraft, it was the first buildings you checked, just to your rear now, the ones with the green door and then the ones with the red door. He disappeared around there somewhere. Your colleague's just checking those now.
Gary's keen to discover why the driver of the GTI was so desperate to escape.
strong links to drug supply, so potentially the occupants could have had some on them, or there could be some still in the vehicle, so it'd be for us to search them and see whatever's inside, if in fact there is anything.
3 2, where's that location? I'm not 100% sure.
More officers are called to the scene to help with the hunt for the driver, but they don't have an exact description of him. And innocent passers-by are adding to the confusion.
All them bottles in lead season.
3-2.
All them bottles in there in lead season.
Obviously they've run off from the vehicle at a late time when they're interviewed. They might deny being in that vehicle. So for us to get some evidence, DNA evidence from that, whether it be a drinks bottle that's in there, fingerprint evidence, it could be a cigarette butt that's been left in the ashtray or somewhere in the vehicle. If we can seize those and it comes back with their DNA on, then it lends itself again to the fact that they have been in that vehicle.
An eyewitness comes forward with some information.
X-ray Tango Sierra 2 from a member of public. Only 2 males were in this vehicle. Driver was an Asian male wearing a light blue hooded top.
He ran round towards the rear of those flats. That's where we last saw him.
Mick is determined to track his man down.
I'm like a dog with a bone, really. I'll not let anything go. So I'm walking up towards a block of houses, and the helicopter's saying, "We last saw him round the back of that house, and then he hasn't come out." That's your first port of call, and that was my first port of call. He's not there, he's not there. He was last seen here. He must be in here somewhere.
Towards the little outhouse.
Gary and another officer discover why the driver was so keen to get away.
That's a drugs press.
Vehicle.
Drugs press, I think. No,
Oh, yeah.
press there.
Yeah.
And there's
No
it
gear
looks
at
like-
all.
Well,
Just residue.
looks like there's residue underneath it for me.
Yeah.
Heroin residue.
Yeah.
It looked like heroin dust, and inside the suitcase was a press, which is used to obviously compact the heroin into a solid block, as it were, which is how it often gets transported from the bigger dealers. We obviously looked at that and thought this is part of a bigger picture.
100 yards away, Mick's searching the last of the flats.
4-6.
And as you can see the flat doors downstairs, check them immediately, they're locked and secured. I'm thinking he's not in any of these. As I walked upstairs, only until I got to the top step, I turned and was confronted by him literally hiding in the corner. And I can see him hiding.
Get some cuffs up here! Keep out your pockets. Drop your phone. Drop it! Drop your phone now. Do as you're told.
In my eyes, at that moment in time, my life could have been in danger because his hands were hidden, he could have had a weapon. So I'm going to use whatever tools I have, which ultimately are my mouth and my personal protective equipment, to dominate that situation. That guy needs to know that we're in charge and don't try anything.
Right, you locked up, pal. Obviously. You got some ID on you?
Yeah, driver of the vehicle located in the flats at the 16, that's 99 above.
That's received, thank you. Did all units receive? I believe we have both now.
He's now being arrested by my colleagues. We're just going to seize the relevant items that are obvious to us at the time. It'll get recovered for forensic work, and hopefully we can link him to the vehicle if he did, in fact denies it. But I think we're quite adamant that it is the right driver. The helicopters followed him away, and he's been detained by officers close by. So, all in all, good job so far. It's 1-0 to us, isn't it?
I think they're just idiots. I think they have no comprehension of what life's about. They have no comprehension of the value of life. They've not seen what I've seen, or my colleagues for that matter. And I think if they had and if they'd lived it, they wouldn't do it.
Come on, let's get you started.
Okay.
In Wakefield, Doug and Dale have arrived at a car hire company they hope will rent 91-year-old war veteran Bill a car to go to Holland for a regimental reunion. But they've got less than an hour to get him sorted, or he'll miss his ferry to Holland.
Hello, are we all right? You take yourself a seat, Bill. We've rung through, obviously, the call centre, and they've said you'll hire cars up to let them go into the continent because they wanted to go to Holland.
In our car?
Yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts were that due to his age, which I know we shouldn't really judge people on their age, but due to his age, due to the fact that he'd had a collision, the hire company would be a little bit reluctant, shall we say, to lend him a car, especially when I'd spoken to somebody over the phone who said that we can only do it for 4 weeks.
How long are you going for?
It was going to be 5.
5 weeks. No, it's fine.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, I'll just sort some out.
All right, cheers. We'll let you take one for 5 weeks. You can have a car for 5 weeks. So that's a bonus, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. That's great.
Which one are you fancying? Jag, Mercedes? Which car are you fancying? The Jaguar?
What it is.
The cheapest?
I'll take yours.
You can have it. But they've got some nice motors, haven't they?
That's what I'm thinking.
One major hurdle's been overcome, but the clock is ticking, and once again the cops busy themselves transferring Bill's supply of crisps and snacks to his new car. To make sure that Bill's got the best chance possible of catching his ferry, Dale jumps in the hire car to direct the old war veteran back to the motorway while Doug follows.
He's actually quite switched on though, isn't he? And other than his hearing, he's... I'm saying that he stalled it.
No. Press clutch down. There we go.
Oh. As we were driving through the town centre, there's all sorts of lane filters, diversions, that kind of thing in the town centre. And you could tell he wasn't used to the car because it was juttering a bit.
Oh, no. Yeah, that arrow.
Sorry. All right.
You might need to knock it back into second, Bill. I think that's going to stall at that. Give it some revs. You'll get used to it. Yeah, he'll be all right once he gets familiar with the car. We'll just get rest of his belongings in the car and we'll let him follow us onto the motorway and then we'll leave him to continue on his journey.
Think he'll get the ferry?
Yeah, I think he will. Only just, but he will. And I'll put this behind you. That can go behind you.
Your bloody power.
There. All right.
Much obliged.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, sir. All right, it really has.
Where could we have been if everybody, 70 years ago, if everybody turned around and said, let somebody else fight that fight, we could have been living in an entirely different world.
And thank you very much indeed.
No problem. You take care, sir. You're ace.
If we can't do things for people who've given so much themselves, if we can't just, when opportunity presents itself, just to help people get to where they want to be, it was very little what we did for Bill, but it made a difference to him.
The driver of the Ford Focus pleaded guilty to dangerous driving and driving whilst disqualified. He was given a 19-month prison sentence and banned from driving for 3 years. No action was taken against his passenger. The driver of the Golf GTI pleaded guilty to dangerous driving. He received 12 weeks in prison and was disqualified from driving for a year. No drugs-related charges were brought against him, and his passenger wasn't charged with any offences. And 91-year-old Bill caught his ferry and made his reunion. He passed away in Holland in the company of good friends.
Becoming a teenager, remember that? Challenges for Child of Our Time later at 10:35 on BBC One. Wildlife and dating shows in the mix on BBC Two. Sarah Millican will give you the giggles on her television programme. And it's Feed My Funny on BBC Three now in a classic edition from 2011 of Russell Howard's Good News.